There you are.
I'm here. I'm sorry for my computer was shut down.
Oh, that's okay.
That's why.
I thought you needed to take a nap.
Why? You thought that?
No, I'm just joking. Just joking. I'm so
Yeah.
tired. I'm so tired.
Are you silly? I am very silly. Very seriously think that? No.
No, I didn't think that. No, I didn't think that. I like to
Okay.
make jokes.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
So do I. And
Mm.
let me s- let me start the lesson.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. There you go.
And I wanna finish as soon as possible. And
Okay.
I wanna start the other lesson.
Okay.
Okay. If you had called me, I could have picked you up. Picked you up.
hmm
Actually, grammar is so easy on Cambly.
Well, this lesson is, yeah, all you're doing is repeating. Yeah.
Yeah, it's only repeating.
Yeah.
But we can.
But
I found.
it gives you examples. Yeah, gives you examples. If I had money, I would have helped you. Uh,
Actually, I wanna continue with practice with you
okay.
because I wanna improve my speaking skill, right? And
Mhm.
I wanna speak as a native in speakers, whatever, uh, how many times it takes
Oh,
for me.
okay. Well, don't give up. Don't give up. And the best way to do is to practice and also to imitate native speakers.
Mhm.
Shadow them when you see something on
Mhm.
YouTube. Yeah. Practice speaking like they do. Yeah. Mm.
Exactly, I believe in that.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay. So what are we gonna do with this?
let me.
Should I just read it, or read it and you repeat it, or
Okay, I can read and mm, I can talk about. We can talk about it.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
We can talk about on it.
Okay.
Okay. If I had money, I would I would have I would. How could you say in short form? Short form.
If I had the money, I could have helped
I
you.
would have.
I would have.
Would have.
The contraction. If I had money,
Uh-huh.
if I had the money, I would have helped you.
I would have helped you.
Uh-huh. Would have, could have,
Would have.
should have,
Could have.
would have, could have, should have,
Like F or
could have.
we.
Not more like a V. Could have. But the thing is,
Could have.
it sounds like an F. Could have, could have,
Could have.
could have,
Could have.
could have,
Could have.
could have. I could have helped
Could
you.
have.
Uh-huh.
Now is that correct
Yes.
pronunciation now?
Yeah, I could have.
Okay.
I could have helped you if you asked me earlier.
Okay.
Yeah, I should have told you the truth at the beginning. Yeah.
I see. If I had if I had money, I would have helped you.
hmm If I had the money, if I had the money, intonation. If I had the money, I would have helped you.
If you had money, what would you do?
I would have helped you. Yeah. But the thing is, in these sentences, you're making an emphasis. Okay. If I
Mhm,
had the money, if I had put the first had up, if I
mhm.
had the money, I would have helped you.
Ah, if I had money, if
Yes.
I had money, I would have helped you.
Yes, yes, because you're emphasizing it. Look at the second one. If you had hurt me, if you had hurt me, I would have punched you.
If you had hurt me, I would have punched you.
Yeah. Okay. Very good.
Punched you.
Punched, hit,
Huh. Oh,
punched.
if you had, if you had hurt me,
If you had,
I would have.
make it up. If you had hurt me,
If you had hurt me, I would have punched you,
yeah, punched you.
not me. Punched. Okay, I remember
Punched.
from health terms, right?
Yeah,
Person, for example, someone, someone body was punched by someone.
yeah. I would have punched you.
His his body was punched by Mustafa, for example.
Yeah, but that's passive. His body was punched. Mustafa punched him. Yeah,
Mustafa punched him.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Direct speech is better. Oh, great.
Yes.
Next one.
If he had stayed here, I wouldn't have died.
Good. Perfect.
If you had, okay.
If
If
he had stayed here, he wouldn't have died. He wouldn't have.
wouldn't have,
Shorter.
wouldn't,
Make it shorter.
wouldn't,
He wouldn't have
would,
died.
he wouldn't have died.
It's too long on the have. He wouldn't have died.
He wouldn't have. No, I cannot do this
He
now.
wouldn't.
Can you say me that now?
He wouldn't have. He wouldn't have died. He wouldn't
Huh?
have died. He wouldn't
He
have
wouldn't
died. He
have.
wouldn't have died. He wouldn't have died.
He wouldn't have. He wouldn't have. I
Too
forgot.
long on the have. Make the have shorter. He wouldn't have died.
He wouldn't have died.
Have died. Have died. Have died.
Have or have.
Have. He
I'm
wouldn't have
used
died.
to say. I'm used to say have.
Yeah, that's too long. And this sentence is too long. He wouldn't have died. He wouldn't have died. He shouldn't have died. He couldn't have died.
He couldn't have. He couldn't have. I cannot say this.
That's okay. That's okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me try again. Could you say me one?
All right.
Well,
If
okay.
he had stayed here, he wouldn't have died.
Wouldn't have died.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't have.
Yep.
Wouldn't have.
Wouldn't have died. Wouldn't have died.
Wouldn't have. Wouldn't have died.
Mm-hmm. If you wanted to
Okay.
speak
If
like a
you had
native speaker, that they shorten the words. They shorten the words.
exactly.
Yeah.
Could you write for me? Shouldn't have. Shouldn't.
Shouldn't
Shouldn't
have.
have.
Shouldn't have.
Could you write short form?
Oh, well, okay. Shouldn't have. Shouldn't have. Okay. It's the
Shouldn't
same
have.
thing. It's the same thing here. Let's see. Uh, he. Kind of like this.
Hmm. Wouldn't. Hmm. Okay, I'll do more practice.
Wouldn't have. Wouldn't have.
Wouldn't have.
Wouldn't have.
No, I cannot
Wouldn't
do.
have. Wouldn't have. Couldn't have.
Wouldn't have. Wouldn't have. Wouldn't. I
Wouldn't
still
have.
say.
Of.
Wouldn't
Say
have.
of.
Wouldn't have.
Say of.
Of. Of.
Of. Of.
Of.
Wouldn't
Of.
have.
Wouldn't have.
Yeah, that's good. You got it.
Wouldn't have.
Wouldn't have. He wouldn't have
Wouldn't have.
died.
He wouldn't have died.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
He wouldn't have died.
Yeah. You got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you
Yeah.
for good information.
Yeah. He wouldn't have. Uh,
He wouldn't have. He wouldn't have died.
yeah. Yeah. Perfect. That's natural.
He wouldn't have died.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if he had stayed here, he wouldn't have died.
Yeah. Perfect. Hmm.
Okay. If you had come, if you had came, if you had came to the cafe,
Come. If you had come,
huh. Okay, and past participle form. Okay. If you had come to the cafe, you couldn't seen Brad Pitt.
couldn't have,
Wow.
couldn't have,
Couldn't have.
couldn't have seen.
Couldn't have seen. Is that correct now?
Yeah.
Couldn't have.
Couldn't have. Uh-huh.
Couldn't have.
Say the sentence again.
Okay. If you had come to the cafe, you couldn't have. If you had come to the cafe, you couldn't have seen Brad Pitt.
Perfect. Perfect. Perfect.
Thank you. Then, if you had protected me,
Protected me.
protected me, I could have been safe.
If he had. If he had protected me, I could have been safe.
If he had, I'm sorry, if he had protected me, if he had protected me, I could have been safe.
I could have been safe. I could have been.
I
Could have been safe.
could have been safe.
Mm-hmm.
Been safe.
Mm-hmm. If he had protected me, I could have been safe.
If he had, if he had, if he had protected me, I could have been safe.
Mm-hmm. Good.
When you, uh, when you friend of mine speak me, spoke me, he spoke so fast,
Oh, really?
so natural.
Uh-huh.
I thought that I understand
Uh-huh.
almost, but he spoke so natural.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah. Well, you got to practice it both ways, you know. Yeah.
Yeah. Why he told no? What he told me about me?
I'm sorry,
Do you remember
I don't understand exactly.
what what he told me
What did he,
about me?
what did who tell you about who?
Huh, yeah. What he said your friend about me?
What did my friend say about you? Mm,
Anything else? No.
No,
Anything.
no. You're fine.
Where you find
You're fine.
where hmm.
Everything's fine.
How you found these students? It's so anyway, I can
How
it
did I
had
find
better
such a student?
if I had content.
Students find me. I don't find them. Students find me. Uh,
Yes, students find me.
uh
Okay.
You're doing good. You're doing
Um,
well, by the way. You sound more and more natural every time.
okay, I'll be more natural
Yeah, yeah,
in time.
yeah. You're doing great. You're doing a great job.
Thank you. Then I'll continue with
Okay.
another example. If I hadn't called her, if I hadn't
I think
called her,
I think you skipped one.
no, I'm sorry. If he hadn't taught me,
If he hadn't taught me,
if he hadn't taught me, I couldn't, I couldn't, I couldn't have mastered English. Could you repeat? Could
okay.
you say
If he hadn't taught me, I couldn't have mastered English.
I couldn't have?
I couldn't have.
Okay.
I couldn't have mastered English. If he hadn't taught me, I couldn't have mastered English.
If he hadn't taught me, I couldn't have mastered English.
Mm-hmm. Good. If he hadn't taught me, I couldn't have mastered English.
If he hadn't taught me, I couldn't have mastered English.
Mm-hmm. Couldn't have mastered English. Couldn't have mastered.
Couldn't have. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
If I hadn't called her, her.
I think. Okay. If I hadn't called her,
If I hadn't called her, I would have been late.
no, she would. She
I'm
would have.
sorry, she
She would have
wouldn't
been late.
been
She
late.
wouldn't have been late.
She wouldn't have been late.
She wouldn't have been late. Uh-huh. If I
She
hadn't
wouldn't
called
have
her,
been
she wouldn't
late.
have been late.
If I hadn't called her, she wouldn't have been late.
Good. Uh-huh. Very good.
If we hadn't been tired, if we hadn't been tired, we wouldn't, we wouldn't, we wouldn't have slept.
We wouldn't have slept.
We wouldn't have
We
slept.
wouldn't have slept.
Actually, it's a good method to understand native native speaking, right?
Yes.
Because when I say them, I'm by day, I'm get used to hear them
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
when I use them.
Yep. And you're learning past perfect too, because it's talking about a second past, but a possibility, a conditional. If I hadn't called her, she wouldn't have been late. But of course, you didn't. You called her. Uh,
Mhm.
if we hadn't been tired, we wouldn't have slept. Meaning, we slept because I did call you.
Opposite of what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Uh-huh.
When I say I had, for example, if I had money,
Yeah,
but I have no money.
yeah. If I had money, I would spend it on you, but I don't. Yeah, it's a good way to it's a good way to be generous, knowing that you don't have to be generous. Uh,
Yeah,
uh,
because
if I
everybody,
had a plane ticket, I would have given it to you. Yeah, but I don't have one.
yeah, actually, normally when the people, actually, people say like this, but when the people have so money, they they disappeared.
Yeah,
The people
they forget their
disappeared.
promises. Yeah, they forget what they said.
They forget promises.
Hmm. Well, if I had if I
Okay.
had more time, I would have spent it with you.
Yeah, exactly. If I had, uh, if I had more time, I would, I would have spent more time
Yeah, with you. Hmm.
with you.
Uh-huh.
Then, okay.
If you hadn't helped us, we couldn't have finished this. If you hadn't
If you
helped
can,
us, we couldn't have finished it.
yeah, if you hadn't, we couldn't have finished this.
Uh,
Okay. Now we are here. If we hadn't been tired, if we hadn't been tired, we wouldn't, we wouldn't have
we
slept.
wouldn't have slept. We wouldn't have slept.
We wouldn't have,
If we hadn't been
we wouldn't
tired,
have
we wouldn't have
slept.
slept.
We wouldn't have slept.
Hmm.
Slept.
That's the best way you said it. If I hadn't, if we, let's see,
If we hadn't
we
been
hadn't been
tired,
tired, if we hadn't been tired, we wouldn't have slept.
okay. If we hadn't been tired, we wouldn't, we wouldn't have slept.
We wouldn't have slept. We wouldn't have slept.
We wouldn't have slept.
Hmm.
Okay. If you hadn't helped us, we couldn't have finished this.
Hmm. If you hadn't
If you
helped
hadn't,
us, we couldn't have finished this.
If you hadn't helped us, we couldn't have finished this.
Mm-hmm.
If I hadn't if I hadn't studied hard, I couldn't have passed this test.
Mm-hmm. Very good. If I hadn't studied hard, I couldn't have passed this test.
I want to practice about pronunciation in future.
Mm-hmm.
Um, next lessons.
Okay. All right.
Okay. If I had money, I would have bought 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 I would have bought this boat.
If I had money, I would have bought this boat.
If I had money, I would have bought this boat.
Mm-hmm.
If you had touched my if you had touched my dog, I would have yelled yelled at you.
Yelled at.
I would have how did you pronounce it?
I would have yelled at you.
Yelled at you.
Yelled at you. Yelled at you.
Yelled at you.
Mm-hmm. Because it's a vibrate. It's a voice sound. Yelled. Yelled.
Yelled.
I would have yelled at
Yeah,
you.
because
I
of
would have
the
yelled at you. Uh-huh.
mm,
If you had.
yelled
Uh-huh. Yelled. Mhm.
yelled
If you had touched my
at me.
dog, if you had touched my dog, I would have yelled at you.
If you had touched my dog, I would have yelled at you.
Mm-hmm. Yelled at you. Uh-huh. If you had touched my
Yelled at
dog,
you.
I would have yelled at you. You're angry.
I think you said like at at you or
At
at
you.
you.
At you.
At you.
Yeah, it's kind of like the
Hmm.
reduced form again. At you. At you.
At you. Like don't ya?
Don't you?
Don't
Yeah,
ya
yeah.
wish your
Don't,
girlfriend
don't
was
you? Don't
hard
you?
like me? Don't ya?
I would have yelled at you.
I would have yelled at you.
Yep, perfect. If you had touched my dog, I would have yelled at you.
If you had touched my dog, I would have I would have yelled at you.
Mm-hmm. Perfect.
It's a most more important grammar topic actually because everyone don't know that,
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
doesn't know that.
Uh-huh. If they had known it, they they would have
If they had known,
they would have been fluent speakers.
they would have been they would have been fluent speakers.
Mhm.
Okay, that's good. Um, not now. Okay,
Two more.
if she, I'm sorry,
Three more or two more? Three more. Yeah, three more.
three more.
Okay.
If she had time, she would have helped us.
Yep.
She would have helped us.
If she had had more time, if she had had more time, she would have helped us.
If she had more time, she would have helped us.
Yes. Hmm. If she had had more time, she would have helped us.
Yeah, maybe. If you had promised me,
If you had
promised,
promoted me, give me a better
promoted
job in the company.
a better job, yeah.
Uh,
If you had promoted me, I would have been happy.
hmm. If you had promoted me, if you had promoted me, I would have been happy.
If you had
I wouldn't have
promoted me,
I
I would
wouldn't
have
have been.
been happy.
I wouldn't have been happy. If you had promoted me, I wouldn't have been happy.
Oh,
In other words, the
okay.
person likes their job the way it is.
Yeah, promoted.
Hmm.
Then the last one is if he had fired all of us, I would have been sad.
Yeah. If he had fired all of us, we would have been sad.
Okay. Before the vocabulary, I want to practice speaking practice
Okay.
about this grammar. I want to continue on next lesson.
Okay. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Okay. How could you use in your social life,
Uh,
in your life?
what, this kind of structure?
Yeah.
Well, okay. Usually, this kind of sentence is used in an argument. Okay.
Hmm.
Or um, you're talking seriously about something, or you're telling me something sad. Ah, I don't have any money. I lost my money. I lost my money. Oh, oh, if I had that's that. I'm sorry. If I had had the money, I would have helped you.
I would have helped you. Hmm. Ah, okay. If I had,
If
okay,
I had had the money,
if I had opportunity, I would have been doctor.
yes. If I had the opportunity, if I had the opportunity, I would have been a doctor.
I would have been a doctor. Okay. If I had an opportunity, I would I would have spoken fluently. I would have spoken fluent English fluently.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Can you say that again?
Hmm. Okay. If I had opportunity,
If I had,
no. If I had uh, how could you say with another way? Huh. If you yeah, okay. If I have known if I have known you before,
if I had known you
I
before,
if I had known you before, I would have speak English better.
I would have spoken. I would have spoken English better.
I would have
Spoke.
spoken English begin better.
Verb three.
English better.
Mm-hmm.
Verb three. Okay. Another one.
Mm.
About me, for example, how could you say?
Uh,
What would you say about me?
okay. If I had, let's see. If you hadn't started Cambly, I would have never met you.
Mhm. Ah, wow, that's a good sentence.
Uh-huh. If I hadn't
Then I
if
can
you
say
hadn't started
same.
Cambly, I wouldn't have met you.
If I hadn't, yeah, if I hadn't started Cambly,
Hmm.
I would have
I wouldn't
never
have
met you.
met you. Uh-huh. I would have never
I
met you. Uh-huh.
I would have never met you.
Yep, that's true. And so I'm thankful for Cambly. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so appreciated to you for
Uh-huh.
existing your no,
Hmm.
for being Cambly,
Yeah. Well,
be
and
on Cambly.
if Savage hadn't what can we say? If Savage hadn't started a YouTube channel, you would never have seen me.
Yeah, probably it would be possible.
Yeah, yeah. So thank.
Where is Savage? I don't nowadays. I cannot
I think he's with
see
family. I
him.
think he's busy being married. Who knows? But I miss him too. I miss him too. I think after our lesson, I will try to text him and say
Mhm.
Hamza is looking for you.
He doesn't me. He doesn't know me.
Well, you keep sending him messages and say, "Where's Dr. Sam? Where's Dr. Sam?" Huh?
Okay, I'll text the message.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he's
Send him one on
speaking
YouTube.
English so good.
Should send him one on YouTube. We want more of Dr. Sam. Uh,
After the lesson, I will.
yeah, that would be fun.
Where is your friend? Where is your friend? Uh, he is looking for you. He's looking for you.
Don't say that.
Where is Savaş? Where is war? Where is war?
Yeah, yeah. Where's war? War and peace.
His name is war
Yeah,
in
war in Turkish.
Turkish.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What is peace in Turkish?
Barış.
Barış.
It's a name.
Yeah, yeah,
It's a name as
Barış.
well.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a good name actually. So many people use this name.
Is it like Barak? What's Barak?
Mm, Actually, there is this word exists in Turkish, but I haven't heard this word before as a name.
Oh, really? Barak? I have two students
Yeah,
named Barak.
yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's a weird, but I don't know.
Maybe
I have
maybe,
any friend
maybe it's like
who name is Barak.
maybe it's like the same thing, only a little different.
Yeah,
Oh,
time
time's up,
has about.
Hamza. Thank you for a good time.
Thank
We'll
you.
see.
Here, please.